Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Tanks with the Mighty Jingles. Yes, that's right, World of Tanks. No, not the World of Warships. British Premium Destroyer preview that I was promising you yesterday. Wargaming have stiffed me again. To be fair to them, they didn't promise that I would be able to show you that video today. They said it would probably be today, and at the very last moment, they've once again encountered some kind of technical issues at their end, and they're still not ready for me to unveil this brand new Premium Destroyer, which by now everybody knows is HMS Campbelltown. So once again, I've had to come up with an emergency video at short notice, and if there's one thing that World of Tanks is always good for, it's emergency videos at short notice, and that's exactly what today's video is. This is Evangelion 242, and today he is going to be driving the British Tier 8 tank destroyer, the AT-15, armed with a very, very nice 20-pounder gun. It's also a very, very well armoured machine, but it's got the kind of armour that only really works at a distance. And what I mean by that is, while the armour is good, it's riddled with weak spots. And so ideally you want to keep this thing in the kind of situation where it's far enough away from the enemies that they don't really have the accuracy to reliably hit those weak spots like those two hatches on the top. And the gun mantlet also has a bit of an armour hole in it. However, just look at the firing arc of that 20-pounder gun. That is really, really good, and is one of the major strengths of this machine when you do have to get it at close quarters. With that kind of firing arc, you can get this thing up to a corner, in particular a right-hand corner, where you can use your obstacle to cover up that big old commander's hatch on the right-hand side, and angle your already impressive frontal armour, while still being able to point that rapid-firing 20-pounder gun at the target. I have to admit, when I first started playing the British tank destroyers, I really wasn't feeling the love for them, although the AT-2 at Tier 5 is a load of fun because the armour is ridiculously powerful for a Tier 5 machine, even if the gun is a bit of a pop gun. But it was the whole pop gun situation with these British tank destroyers that I really didn't like. I never really felt the love for the AT-8, I never really felt the love for the AT-6, although they are quite popular machines and they're certainly not bad, but it was when I got to the AT-15 here at Tier 8 that I really started to get it. I think this is a really, really good machine. I think it's unquestionably best when you can keep your enemies at long range on big wide open maps where they're going to have difficulty hitting those weak spots because of the ranges involved. And that's not a luxury that Evangelion is going to be able to exploit on this map because it's Himmelsdorf, and even worse, this is a left-hand corner where he's not going to be able to cover up with any amount of angling that big old hatch on the right-hand side of the top of his hull. But before we get to that corner and show you the right and wrong way of approaching it, first we're just going to kill this Su-152. There's one hit, and then he pops out of vision, but that one was definitely a hit. And that one was definitely a hit, which means he's probably dead. There's his first kill. Now, check this out. While Evangelion demonstrates the correct way to come around a corner and fight enemies at close range when you have to in the AT-15, these guys, particularly the 110, are all demonstrating the exact wrong way of doing it. You'll note that Evangelion has pulled back, so he's not being engaged by more than one of the 3 enemy tanks that are out there at the same time. Although because this is a left-hand corner, he's not able to hide that big old hatch on the right-hand side of the top of his hull, so they have scored a couple of hits, but look at the amount of damage that 110 in particular took. He can't afford to take another hit, he's already lost almost all of his health. Tiger 1 there, immobilised. Again, he's going for that hatch on top. Evangelion making it difficult for him by staying as well as mobile as you can when you're in a machine as slow as the AT-15. There's the T-34-2. Rapid firing, rapid aiming 20-pounder gun, manages to get a shot in at his lower glacis, and now he's going to start trading shots with the Tiger, and the Tiger does know what he's doing. And this is the nightmare for an AT-15 driver, coming across an enemy with a gun that's as rapid firing, rapid aiming and accurate as your 20-pounder who knows exactly where to shoot, and you have no choice but to give him shots at that commander's hatch over there on the right hand side of the machine. But the Tiger's nearly dead and isn't going to be a problem for much longer. So far from an ideal situation for Evangelion's AT-15, particularly with that Tiger there. He was clearly the most dangerous enemy, but he's dead. Evangelion's low on health, and now it's just a question of cleaning up various different, mostly low health enemy tanks. Unfortunately for Evangelion, check out the AMX-13F3 down there. Everybody spots the artillery and they all start rushing off down the hill to try to kill him, which allows this 4202P to nail that first Cromwell, and pretty much everybody else falls for the lure of the artillery kill and starts chasing off down the hill in order to try to get him, even though there's a Skoda T40 down there, and that's leaving Evangelion up here with a mostly full health FV4202, an AMX CDC, and a 110. The artillery's just died, and that T-34 is still, well, I don't know, maybe he's heading down the road to get himself into a hull down position. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Here comes the CDC, very mobile medium tank, blows off Evangelion's tracks. There goes his second repair kit, that's the premium one this time. CDC does the smart thing, rushes out, tries to get around him. Unfortunately, well, it's only smart if it works. And God damn it! Who left that wrecked tank there? Evangelion finishes off the CDC. There's still the 4202P and the 110 around the corner. The T-34 finishes off the 4202, and the Skoda T40 finally gets to the top of the hill and finishes off the 110. However, they are being capped. Now, that second Cromwell didn't hang around at the top of the hill. He skedaddled down the road, killed the AMX-13F3, and he's legged it down the bottom end of the map, and he's trying to get eyes on whoever it is who's capping. If he dies without being able to reset that cap, well, it's an awfully long way to get to the cap circle, and the AT-15 is not the fastest machine in the world. Skoda T40 rushing down the hill. Enemy Churchill down there, doing his best to fight the delaying action. He scores one hit on the T40. The T40 takes a return shot, misses, and then just motors on by. Look at the speed of the AT-15. Even coming down the hill on Himmelsdorf, it just will not reach anything like a decent speed. The T-40, he's waiting for Evangelion to come around, fires on the move. Very, very good gun handling on the 20-pounder as he's reloading. Takes a hit, no damage. Skoda T-40 pops out from behind, finishes off the Mark 7. Very nice little bait and switch there between Evangelion and the Skoda T-40 driver. Meanwhile, the Cromwell has managed to spot the enemy OI in the cap and has managed to damage him and reset, but he understandably doesn't want to get shot at by an OI's monster gun, so he's fallen back. Lost sight of the OI, but then really bad news for the Cromwell. Look what's just popped up behind him and killed him. The WZ-111. So we know the OI is in the cap circle. We know there's a WZ-111 running interference for the OI in the cap circle, and the enemy team have started to cap once again. But that Cromwell's act of heroism has bought Evangelion's team some time. They don't need to rush down to that cap circle and just charge in there all guns blazing. They now have the time to actually plan and coordinate an attack, which leaves me mystified as to why the Skoda T40, who could easily have been one-shotted by either of those two surviving enemy tanks, chose to just rush off alone into the cap circle and got himself one-shotted by either of those two enemy tanks. So, two enemy heavies left, both of them with really big guns, and that's why Evangelion is advising this T-34 to stay behind him. While either of those guys do have guns that could technically one-shot Evangelion, he does have better armour. Certainly when it comes to crossing an open road like this. So he goes ahead, nobody shoots at him, he doesn't get detected, he doesn't see anything. It seems to be safe for the T-34 to cross behind him. And so that's exactly what the T-34 does. Now we know that at least one of them is in the cap circle. And this time Evangelion is able to fire around a right-hand side corner, angle his frontal armour, and keep that commander's hatch safe. Resets the cap on the OI. OI fires and bounces. He kills the OI. There's the WZ-111, and he just misses that shot, which gives Evangelion the opportunity to crawl his way through that gap, as the T-34 is at the rear, looking for a shot at this WZ-111 who has as good as all of his health. So not exactly an ideal situation. That guy's going to take multiple hits to go down, and he can one-shot either of the two surviving tanks on Evangelion's team. And in this kind of situation, when it comes right down to the wire like this, you have to expect people to be loading the premium ammunition. Evangelion certainly is. And the WZ-111's 122mm gun has premium ammunition with 250mm of penetration, so Evangelion is taking no chances. He side scrapes around the corner, so that the worst thing that's going to happen if he does take a hit is he might get his tracks blown off. Yes, he could stick his nose around the corner of the building, angle the frontal armour, and probably still bounce a shot even from the WZ-111's premium ammunition, but probably isn't the same as definitely, and when there's as much riding on the outcome as this, you really don't want to go with probably. Now, where did that guy go? He's not in the cap circle. Evangelion angles it a little more, pops out to get a better view. Still no sign of him. T-34 now crossing the same gap that Evangelion crossed earlier, and that's when he spots the WZ-111. Guns the engine, comes out, premium ammunition loaded, doesn't have a lot of it. And... oh! That was high explosive. That guy was obviously anticipating running across the T-34. And high explosive with a T-34 on that amount of health is a guaranteed kill. Unfortunately, fired at the front of an AT-15, you only do 6 damage. This guy does have 6 kills, however. Yep, he's side-scraping around the corner. He's not quite as stupid as that 110 that we saw earlier, driving sideways around the corner in front of a 20-pounder gun. T-34, very wisely, hiding behind Evangelion, who misses the next shot. Ah, get out of the way, get out of the way. There's some more damage done. WZ-111 very wisely takes the shot against the T-34 instead because he's a one-shot kill, but he misses. Oh, and you can see he's aiming up for the hatch, and he's hit it, but oh, low damage roll. Come on, his tracks are blown off, he ain't going anywhere. One more hit. I don't understand why the T-34 hasn't killed him. He's got shots into the back, and he's missed every shot he's fired. But Evangelion reloads in time and secures the win for his 7th kill. So that's an ace tanker, unsurprisingly, steel wall to go with the high caliber, and the top gun for Evangelion 242 in the AT-15 in a less than ideal battle, certainly for this machine, here on Himmelsdorf. And 7,600 damage? That's impressive by anybody's standard, and look at the experience. That's nearly 2,000 base experience. Before modifiers are applied, he actually came out of this match with 5,748 experience under his belt. Commiserations to Tiger Cav in the enemy WZ-111, who also got, well, 4 medals of his own, including a Top Gun, and just got really, really unlucky with his shots towards the end of that match. But, well, we can't all be winners. Evangelion 242, thank you for sending that replay, and I hope you guys enjoyed the battle. I've given up predicting when I'm going to be showing you this new premium British destroyer. The video will be done. Well, the video's done. The video's already uploaded. I just can't make it public. You'll see it when you see it. I'm just sitting around waiting for Wargaming to say go. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and have a great weekend. And I'll see you on Monday for Mingles with Jingles. Take care, folks, and I'll catch you next time.